My group will present on topic total quality management and the role of management accountants on organizational performances, public sectors in Malaysia. And this is my group members' name: Howard Terry, Adiza, me myself, Oki, and Nur Ashikid. And we proceed to introductions. Introductions of TQM. Total Quality Management (TQM) has its origin dated since the 1920s, when it was originally designed by Walter A. TQM implemented at a massive scale by the Japanese industry led by a fellow American named Edward Demings, who interpreted Seward's findings on quality control, in which the term of total quality control (TQC) was derived. Problem statements. Based on this research, we had found two problem statements, which are the vagueness of total quality management as an effective management tool that can improve organizational performance of public sector. Second, uncertainties of management accountants' role in implementing total quality management for better performance. All right. So we proceed to literature review of TQM. I'm study to looking at the interactions between accounting and operations management. TQM, according to Muhammad Zawawi and Hawk 2010, have significantly decreased affected by the interest in the new research, such as intangible asset, balanced scorecard (BSC), and economic value added. According to Muhammad Zawawi and Hawk 2010, they realized that the research done on management accounting innovations and noticed that studies in this area were limited, with some studies focusing on the relationship between TQM and management accounting. TQM in an organization would require changes to organizational control mechanism. Thus, TQM has attracted the interest of management accounting researchers. TQM implementations would require key performance indicators, which is the one of measurement in TQM, developed to include customer satisfactions. To the date today, only a few empirical studies on TQM have been carried out in the ASEAN region. For Malaysia, the implementations of TQM is still problematic. According to Mahmood and Hilmi 2014, with only a few empirical studies, Idris 2011 and Sohel and Hong 2013 said that had focused on TQM practices and organizational performance. Literature review of TQM and organizational performance. Ramaya, Samad, and Low 2011 defined that organizational performance the result of the operations performed by organizational group. Venkatraman and Ramanujan 1986, according to them, said that the business performance has divided in three dimensions, which are operational, financial, and organizational effectiveness. Operational or non-financial performance includes product quality, market share, market effectiveness, and new product introductions. Financial performance includes the profitability and sales growth. And organizational effectiveness is an extent to which organizations achieve their effectiveness. And lastly is literature review of management accountants' role in public sector and total quality management. According to Ruthanapon, the emergence of new advanced technologies demand for more proactive management accountants, who are now expected to become part of management team within a business activity. Accountants must be prepared for changes in traditional ways of doing accounting and to be ready to accept exciting challenges ahead. This is according to Lobo, Tilk, and Forsyth 2004. Management accountants are required to become distinct true partners within the business who can steer the business to be greater success. Ruthanapon 2001.
We proceed with the methodology population. In pursuing quality, every organization needs to identify the most appropriate approach which is suitable for them. Each organization, especially the service sector, is unique. So, each improvement program needs to be tailored, especially the service sector. There is no one right way to succeed in the TQM. From the past experience in implementing the quality improvement efforts in Malaysia, public service organizations will be helpful in identifying factors which explain the failure of such effort. For example, since the QCC (Quality Control Central) were launched in the public service, there have been numerous courses and talks conducted by Intan, such as Intan, Institut Tadbiran Negara, and MAMPU, Manpower Administration Modernisation and Planning Unit. So, about this research are based on the extraction of the data from another journal of article, and our target population is comprised of the government agency, and the second one is public institution and other public related organizations such as GLC. So, the sampling frame for this paper is the Public Service Department Malaysia, or well known as Jabatan Perkhidmatan Awam Malaysia (JPA), in which it has the responsibility to plan, manage, and develop the public sectors throughout the country. The purpose of selecting accountants as our research select the accountant as our sample to identify their contribution and what is the limitation in improving the organizational performance of the public sector. So I will pass to the next presenter.
Methodology of measurement, adaptations of TQM in performance measurement. There were 8 principles of TQM that could be advantageous to organizations. First is customer focus, leadership, involvement of people in organizations, efficiency in process approach, system approach to management, continual improvement, factual approach to decisions making, and mutually beneficial supplier relationship.
Presenting for theoretical analysis part or customer focus, process approach, and system approach to management. So the first one is customer focus. Customer focus in total quality management principle is the most important part when only customer can determine the level of quality of a product or services that has been provided by any party or government to fulfill their interest, which is to whether a government or any third party to satisfy the customer needs and wants. Target customer can be existing or new customer. The top management should align their objectives with customer needs and manage the customer's relationship, measure customer satisfaction in order to improve the process and their quality of standard. They can measure customer satisfaction through questionnaire or interview. For example, in Malaysia healthcare industry, especially government hospitals, they provide great facilities and healthcare services to the public, such as prayer room, waiting room, top doctors, of course, and also friendly nurses. In the healthcare industry, understanding and evaluating patient needs and expectation is very important to increase the quality of standards. Total quality management implementation gives a good impact, especially for healthcare industry in Malaysia. So we move on to process approach. Process approach is a combination of methods, materials, manpower, and also machines that are taken together to produce a product. Process approach are closely linked to the mission, vision, and strategy of an organization goals. An organization needs to follow standards of procedure effectively and efficiently in order to achieve their organization goals. To detect unexpected errors and malfunctions in the process while producing a product or services, an organization needs to carry out continuous monitor and also measure the performance. Process approach is to analyze and measure to make improvement or any step that creates bottlenecks that are actually stumbling blocks to any form of progress. The advantage of implementation of proper quality management is continuous improvement, more consistency can predict future outcomes, faster development and production cycle, lower cost, and also can increase the profits of organization. For example, there are some studies on implementation of proper quality management involving higher education institutes. Lecturers are recruited by the government as empowered to deliver knowledge to the students. And there are also the needs of activities, equipment or classes or any other facilities that should be provided to the students. Without lecturers, equipment, classes, facilities, materials and others, government are unable to provide good services to the society. Lecturers and the students or employees that work in the higher education, especially public sector or public government universities, need to follow standards of process and procedures in conducting their responsibilities. The process management is very important for the higher education institute to ensure the right information can be delivered to the student or graduate efficiently. Okay, the last one is for system approach to management. In this principle, system approach to management focus on system with interrelated set of activities for functionality approach in increasing efficiency of the operation. The people inside the organization from all departments that have specific roles and work in the organization need to understand organization mission, vision, and also objectives. Everyone needs to fully understand the organization policy, standards, objectives, and also the process. The framework that an organization needs in planning process are strategic planning and strategic management to successfully deliver the process systematically. Integrated system connects business improvement between organizations with internal or external users that can use the system. Total quality management promotes a work culture focused on quality within the company, which can help their employees to understand their role, fit in with others. Therefore, the employees can improve their skills and also their knowledge in the future for the benefits of the organization. For example, for public sector banks, according to Bank Negara Malaysia, their role as a Malaysia central bank is to make sure the security, accuracy, and reliability of their payment infrastructure to be used by the public. This is to protect the privacy of personal information from leaking to other parties. Bank Negara Malaysia also highlights the importance of e-payments accelerating the migration to electronic payments. Proper information system and channels to distribute accurate and easily understood information by the public. The management should communicate clearly to the employees about the changes in the new system so that they can adapt well and also can assist the customer or the public in using the new system. So that is all for me. Thank you.
Theoretical analysis, leadership driven. The quality that a person have to lead others to accomplish the set goals of organizations. According to Hersey and Blanket, there are three basic competencies necessary for leader, which are ability to interactions and understanding the situations, adapting the ability to change behavior and resources in the light of situations, and ability to communicate with other members of the organizations to get acceptance and understanding. Coleman and Deal 1991. Leader display leadership behavior in one of the four types of framework: structural, human resource, political, or symbolic. Blanketed said that leadership is the ability to win their subordinate or follower respect, confidence, loyalty, and willing to cooperations. Theoretical analysis of continuous improvement. Optimal efficiency and complete customer satisfaction, and organization should continually find ways to improve processes and adapt the products and services as customer needs shift. Innovations will be driven by business strategy, capability, market understanding, and commitment to the process. Government sector had applied continual improvement in order to upgrade their staff. For example, Institute Tadbiran Awam Negara, Intan, has provided exclusive training facilitated 2. Facilitated to improve teaching process quality among teachers.
Let's move on to the next principle, which is the involvement of people. Okay, so management accountants and subordinates, I believe, should be given a chance or platform to contribute in any sense to the organization. This would make them feel motivated and they are acknowledged for their expertise and knowledge that they have in a way that they can help to grow the company or the organization in the long run. And of course, the third one is to strategize uniform work ethics for organization. This is very important because it produces a reference or known as blueprints to improve productivity of the organization itself. And in this way, it will save in terms of cost, and indirectly it changes the mindset and mentality of the people or the employees to actually abide by the uniform work ethics for the best of the organization. Another principle to take note is the factual approach to decision making. So in public sector, they see this as a very serious legal measure which enables any particular decision being made to suffice the needs and best of the general population. It's like you and me. All the citizens are considered as the stakeholders for whatever decisions that are being made by the public sectors or the government sector itself. And the next one would be government officials provided with manual of office procedures. Like being mentioned in the previous principle, office procedures are considered as the main reference, legal reference or blueprints which highlights employees' daily operations. So they will obey to whatever that is written because those documents are legal and being endorsed. And the third one, management accountants may implement system of analysis to keep track on performance. One of it is, yes, TQM. So it is one of the performance measurement which requires thorough analysis to ensure that performances of whatever they are grading are up to par and being monitored very closely. And the next one would be mutually beneficial supplier relationship. So in this sense, it is a motivation for a win-win situation between public sectors and providers. Okay, so management accountants would get used to the practice of monitoring suppliers and keeping close tab on cash flows. This is where management accountants play a huge role in applying their expertise, such as their professional judgments on whatever key financial or non-financial activities that may or may not jeopardize the growth or performance of the public sector. And then the third one, have to conduct rigorous research and developments on supply management top, ensure government agencies meet their long-term targets in aggregate. So what it means by this is all the management accountants, the bodies throughout Malaysia, they have to work hand in hand to ensure that the supply management works well and smoothly in Malaysia, because it cannot be done by a single company or a single multinational company, because we are looking at the aspects of an aggregate, which is the public sector, and that is very wide and big for just one big or small company there is.
So, as our conclusion towards the topic of the total quality management under the public service, in many public service organizations in Malaysia, the working environment is not conducive to the enhancement of the team working. But with the TQM, it is essential that to establish the quality improvement team at the management levels to ensure that the quality of the management efforts are implemented successfully. The most difficult task for many public service organizations is To ensure that and make this quality improvement team in functionally. Through the above discussion, several concepts have been identified to explain towards a way to implement the quality improvement program in public service organisation, such as towards the Lembaga Tabung Haji, and at the same time to be sustained continuously. In the final section also, the report are proposed ways to ensure that the TQM concept are beneficial to implement in the public service organisation are being effectively and continuously. TQM is suitable, applicable and practical in Malaysia, especially public service organisation. However, to ensure that this management concept of TQM can be implemented and sustained successfully. Therefore, the management in public service organisation should realize that it is their responsibility to ensure that they are ready to adapt and adopt the TQM in their organisation. So that's all from our group about the total quality management within the public sector in Malaysia. Thank you for watching.